Take it off. Okay, we are live. Good morning, everyone. My name is Judge Tamika West. I'm a Magistrate Court Judge in Clayton County. I will be presiding over your first appearance hearing this morning. If everyone will raise their right hand so I can swear them in. Do you swear and affirm that the information that you give to this court will be true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I will be making some opening remarks, and then following my opening remarks, I will call each individual's name for your first appearance hearing. Again, this is your first appearance before Magistrate Court in Clayton County. We are not here to try your case or to take a plea. You are here for the court to inform you of the charges against you, advise you of certain rights, set bail on those offenses for which the court is authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary hearing, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing. But should you choose to give up this right, anything you say during these proceedings may be used against you if your case goes to trial. During this and all other proceedings, you have the right to the presumption of innocence until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You also have the right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusations for misdemeanors. You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine all witnesses who are called to testify against you. You have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses in your own behalf by subpoena. You have the right to testify and offer other evidence in your own defense should you choose to do so. But should you choose not to do so, no presumption of your guilt may be raised. You have the right to have an attorney represent you. If you qualify for a court-appointed attorney, we will appoint an attorney to represent you. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail pending prosecution of the case, which may be cash, commercial, or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond in cash together with any applicable mandated fees to the sheriff's office, who will hold it until your final court date, at which time the cash bond will be returned to the person who posted it. If you use a commercial bonding company approved by the sheriff, someone will have to pay up to 15% of the total bond amount as their fee for their service. This fee will not be returned. Some of you may post bond using their property if they have net equity in the property in an amount equal to 3 times the amount of the bond. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going around certain places. This special condition will be provided to you during your first appearance hearing, and it will also be included on your bond order. You will also be prohibiting from calling or having any contact with the alleged victim while you're in jail. Should you violate the court order, your bond will be revoked and you will not be entitled to another bond while awaiting trial. An additional charge of aggravated stalking, influencing witnesses, or other charges, as the law may provide, could be brought against you, for which you could be sentenced up to 10 years in prison and fined up to $20,000. For family members who will assist in posting bond, they will be provided with information of your bond amount after we have concluded the first appearance calendar for this morning. If a family member is an alleged victim on the warrant and there is a special condition that you're to have no contact with that family member, he or she will not be allowed to post bond. Some of you are charged with offenses to which this court is simply not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a Superior Court judge, and you will be informed of that date during your first appearance. If you're currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond. Your bond can be reconsidered after a probation officer has had the opportunity to determine if they wish to file a warrant for violation of your probation, usually during the preliminary hearing. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine if there is enough evidence or probable cause to justify keeping you detained until such time as your case goes to trial. Again, the purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine if there is enough evidence or probable cause to justify keeping you detained until such time as your case goes to trial. For those of you charged with misdemeanor, you will have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Waiving your preliminary hearing will not affect your rights to post bond, your right to have an attorney represent you, or your right to a court-appointed attorney if you qualify for one, or your right to a jury trial. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived and you will be mailed a notice when to appear in state court for arraignment. If you cannot make bond, you may waive your preliminary hearing and be taken before a state court judge, at which time if you plead guilty, you will be sentenced. If you plead not guilty, a trial will be scheduled. If you choose to have your misdemeanor preliminary hearing, the hearing will be held on September the 13th, 2022 via Zoom. For those of you charged with felony offenses, you will not have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Your preliminary hearing will be scheduled for September the 12th, 2022 via Zoom. That will conclude my opening remarks. At this time, deputies, you would like to do the 4 inmates at this time or following the women inmate?
We can go to the 4 inmates, Your Honor.
Okay, let's move forward. Is it Mr. Bell? Who's our first? Okay, please state your full name for the record.
My query is Bell.
Mr. Bell, you've been charged with 6 offenses to include kidnapping, aggravated assault, battery, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and battery. Your bond amount for the kidnapping is $10,000. Your bond amount for aggravated assault is $20,000. Your bond amount for the battery is $5,000. Your bond amount for the aggravated assault is $20,000. Your bond amount for the false imprisonment is $10,000. And then your bond amount for the second count of battery is $5,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $70,000. Do you understand your charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for September the 12th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Now, I see you completed the form for court-appointed counsel. Is that correct? Sir, do you recall completing your application for a court-appointed attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you currently represented by counsel or do you have an attorney?
Not currently, but I do plan on in the future of getting one though.
Okay, so based on your responses on your court-appointed form, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I am going to go ahead and grant that. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good morning. Please state your full name for me.
Caleb Gregory Brown.
Mr. Brown,
Yes,
you've
ma'am.
been charged with the same offenses, six offenses to include kidnapping, aggravated assault, 1 count of battery, 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of false imprisonment, and then another count of battery. Your bond amount for the kidnapping is $10,000. Your bond amount for the aggravated assault is $20,000. Your bond amount for the battery is $5,000. Your bond amount for the second count of aggravated assault is $20,000. Your bond amount for false imprisonment is $10,000. And your bond amount for the battery is $5,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $70,000. Do you understand the charges as well as the bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for September the 12th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You also completed the application for court-appointed counsel. Based on your responses, you're currently unemployed, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Say yes, you're unemployed.
Yes, I am unemployed, ma'am.
Okay, do you currently have an attorney, sir?
Not for these new charges, no. But I plan on getting one.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead in the interim and appoint a it appears you qualify. So I am gonna go ahead and appoint a court-appointed attorney for you.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
State your full name for the record for me.
Antonio Reeves.
Okay, middle name is Hakeem.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Reed, you've been charged with 3 offenses to include aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and battery. Your bond amount for the aggravated assault is $20,000. Your bond amount for the false imprisonment is $10,000, and your bond amount for the battery is $5,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $35,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Secondly, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for September the 12th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. and that will be via Zoom. You also completed a request for court-appointed counsel, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And based on your response, you're currently unemployed,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? Therefore, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will go ahead and approve that request. Do you have any questions, sir?
Ma'am, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, state your full name for the record for me.
Ason Dion Lamar Ties.
I have a Williams. I'm sorry, I believe someone, let me speak to the deputy. I'm sorry, give me your name again.
Dunbar. His name is Ty. My name Dunbar.
Okay, is he also one of the inmates? Because I had Jerry Williams as the last one.
It's really sick. There's 6 inmates in total. But Jerry Williams is one of the inmates. Ty's one of the inmates. And what's your last name?
Okay, in the email, it's only said 4 inmates, but I don't have a problem with accommodating the other 2. I just got to pull their
No
bond.
problem. I can, if you want to do Williams first, I'll give you the other 2 names. I'll send them to you in the chat.
Okay, you can just give them to me now. Who would that be?
It's Ty's and Wiggins.
Wiggins, okay.
Yes, Fraser Wiggins and Dejan Ty's.
Okay, Frazier, Bobby Wiggins, I have him. And then the last one you said was, what was the last name again?
Ty.
Ty.
Mhm.
Tyes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I have him here. Okay, who would you like to present first?
Ty's is his
Okay. And spell your last name for me, sir, again.
PYES.
Okay, so I make sure. Okay. Mr. Taj, you've been charged with 3 offenses to include aggravated assault, battery, and false imprisonment. Your bond amount for the aggravated assault is $20,000. Your bond amount for the battery is $5,000. Your bond amount for the false imprisonment is $10,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $35,000. Do you understand the charges as well as the bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for September the 12th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. And then thirdly, it does appear that you qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I'll go ahead and appoint a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any questions?
Amen.
Okay, thank you. Okay, state your full name for me.
Antonio Williams.
You said Wiggins, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You said Williams.
Oh, you said William?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is it Jerry, Antonio?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Williams, you've been charged with 3 offenses to include aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and battery. Your bond amount for the aggravated assault is $20,000. Your bond amount for the false imprisonment is $10,000. Your bond amount for the battery is $5,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $35,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
I do.
Can you make bond?
Do I make one?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're currently incarcerated. Secondly, your preliminary hearing date is September the 12th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. And you also have completed a request for court-appointed counsel, correct?
Yes,
Mr. Williams, do you currently have an attorney or do you need an attorney?
Yes, ma'am. I need a state attorney.
Okay. And based on your responses here, you're currently unemployed, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, therefore I will go ahead and appoint an attorney for you. Do you have any questions? Questions, sir?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, good morning. State your full name.
Bobby Wiggins, Reggie.
Mr. Wiggins, you've been charged with 3 offenses to include aggravated assault, battery, false imprisonment. The bond amount for the aggravated assault is $20,000. The bond amount for the battery is $5,000. And then the bond amount for the false imprisonment is $10,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $35,000. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yeah, ma'am.
I also have scheduled your preliminary hearing for September the 12th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. And I see here that you also have requested or completed an application for court-appointed counsel, correct? Do you need an attorney, sir?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, based on your responses here, I'll need you to sign your court-appointed application. You didn't sign the form swearing that it's the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So I will go ahead and approve it. However, you will need to sign your form. I'm going to send it back to the jail for you to sign your form. Deputies, do you have a copy of his CAA form or do I need to send it back? Because he didn't sign it.
I should be able to go to classifications, grab one. If not, I'll email you, but I should be able to have one for him.
Yeah, if you have him sign the one that he submitted, and then I can go ahead and approve that request.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir.
I got a question, y'all.
I'm sorry, what's your question?
How many of those charges are felonies?
All of them except the battery. So the aggravated assault and the false imprisonment. The battery is a misdemeanor.
Thank you, y'all.
Okay, thank you.
All right, y'all, that's everybody.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Deputy.
That's all of the mails from that incident.
Okay, can we do the females or?
Yes, ma'am. I have Miss Jackson coming up.
Okay,
Good morning, Your Honor.
good morning. Ms. Jackson, you've been charged with 1 offense of criminal trespass. Your bond amount is $1,500. There will be special conditions included in your bond if you're able to make bond. First, there's to be a no contact with Daryl Jackson, who's the alleged victim, which means you must stay away absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by telephone, or third persons from the person's home, workplace, and immediate family members of any witnesses. including Mr. Jackson. And then you also cannot violate any laws while out on bond. Do you understand the charge, the bond amount, as well as your conditions of bond?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for September the 13th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
You can keep it on the court's calendar.
Okay. You've also completed a request for court-appointed counsel. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, based on your response, you indicated you have a job and your income is approximately $1,400 a month?
Yes.
Okay. So you also didn't sign your court-appointed counsel form, but based on your responses, you would qualify for a court-appointed counsel. So I'm gonna go ahead and approve the request. Do you have any questions?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. State your full name for the record for me.
Aja Jefferson.
Ms. Jefferson, you've been charged with one offense, criminal trespass. Your bond amount is $1,500. Do you have any questions about the charge or your bond amount?
It's about my charge.
You said it's about your charge?
Yes.
Okay,
I didn't.
what is your question?
I'm sorry. I didn't understand why I got arrested if I was trying to defend myself during the situation.
Okay, well, that's something you should speak with your attorney about. My only purpose here is to inform you of the charges, as well as give you, set your bond. I'm not here to try your case today. Are you able to make bail on the criminal trespass of $1,500?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, if you make bond, there will be a special condition included in the bond order. Specifically, you must, there's gonna be a no contact against Gerante Powell. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Okay, who's that?
That was my current girlfriend, but we broke up.
Okay, well, there's gonna be a no contact since she's the alleged victim in the case. So you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by telephone, or third person from the person's home, workplace, and immediate family members of any witnesses with respect to Ms. Powell. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for September the 13th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Would you like to waive the preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
Keep it on the court's calendar.
Okay. Did you complete an application for court-appointed counsel?
Yes.
And based on your response, you said you're unemployed, but you did provide a monthly income. Can you give me an estimate?
I mean, I'm not unemployed. I'm currently working, but
No, I'm sorry, it says employed, but you didn't provide an estimate of your monthly income.
yeah,
Give me a range,
I think like 13.
1,300 a month.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, based on your response, you do qualify for a court-appointed counsel, so I will go ahead and appoint you one. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. State your full name for the record for me.
Dominique Richardson.
Ms. Richardson, you've been charged with 2 charges, specifically simple battery, family violence, and the second charge is criminal damage in the 2nd degree. Your bond amount for the simple battery is $5,000. Your bond amount for the criminal damage is $3,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $8,000. Do you understand the charge as well as the bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order. The first condition is that you have to stay away from the alleged victim, specifically Christopher Clark. Do you know who Mr. Clark is? Okay, who's that?
Um, Ex-boyfriend.
Okay, so there's a no contact, so you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, pager, telephone, or third person from the person's home, workplace, and immediate family members of any witnesses with respect to Mr. Clark. Secondly, because the alleged incident occurred at 1807 Poplar Point Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, 30349, you're not allowed to return to those premises while you're out on bond. Do you understand the conditions of your bond?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to say something about the stay away order. He is not living there, hasn't been for a couple of months, and my lease ends in about just 30 days. I really just want to pack my stuff up and get it to my mom's house, but I'm sure I haven't started packing. I'm sure the sheriffs wouldn't wait. And it just be kind of hard. I'm just trying to get my stuff and go. He's not going to be at the apartment. The apartment complex knows he's not going to lease. So he's not supposed to be there. I just don't want the stay away order to affect me moving out. I could be moved out by the preliminary hearing.
Okay, Mr. Clark is not on the lease?
No, ma'am.
Okay, has he ever been on the lease?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you've resided there for how long?
This month would be 2 years.
Okay, so I will go ahead and you say that he no longer resides there. You're under oath.
Yes, ma'am. He's at his brother's.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and remove that provision on your bond order since you're on the lease is your apartment. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you do understand that if he's to visit that location while you're attempting to move, unfortunately you'll have to leave so you don't violate the no contact.
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask, is there any way that I can use this situation to get a TPO as well? I don't want to be bothered.
Well, I mean, if you could contact the magistrate court about whether or not you qualify for a temporary protective order. So that's well within your rights if you choose to do so, but I can't advise you on the validity of it. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll remove that. It will be on no contact against Mr. Clark. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for since the criminal damage in the second degree is considered a felony in the state of Georgia. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for September the 12th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you also completed a request for court-appointed counsel. Is that correct?
No, ma'am.
Do you not, you don't need a court-appointed attorney?
We're gonna get our own lawyer.
Are you sure you don't want one in place just in case? See.
If I can go ahead and get one in place just in case, sure, but I also don't think I would be, I don't think that I would be qualified actually.
Okay, well, let me determine that. How much is your monthly income?
About 3,200.
Okay, well, you will be correct. Okay, so you're gonna hire your own attorney. Any other questions?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Richardson. Good morning. State your full name for me.
Skylar Underwood.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your last name.
Underwood.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, Skylar.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Richardson, I'm sorry, Ms. Underwood, you've been charged with 2 charges, specifically driving on a suspended or revoked license and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Your total, your bond amount for the driving on a suspended license is $1,500, and then possession of marijuana less than an ounce is $1,500. Therefore, your total bond amount is $3,000. You understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for September the 13th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Would you like to waive the preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
Keep on the course calendar.
Okay. And you also, did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, based on your response, you said you make about $400 a week. Is that correct?
I'm gonna do good work, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Based on your response, you do qualify for a court-appointed counsel, so therefore I will appoint one to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Judge, that will be all the females.
Okay, thank you.
Y'all go.
Okay, deputies, we had an add-on real quickly. I'm assuming that he's available as well as Nugent is Nguyen, Nguyen. I just want to make sure he's available.
I believe.
Did you hear me, deputy?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I said we had an add-on. Did you guys get notification of that?
Yes, ma'am. I want to say, oh no, I'm sorry. No, I did not. You said, what's the name on it?
Nguyen is Nguyen. It was continued from yesterday's calendar.
I have him available today. I didn't get any notification of him.
You
I
say-
did get.
That's what my question is he available today?
That's my last, Your Honor. I don't have him. No, Your Honor, he's not.
Okay, let me, we'll need to get him unless he's, according to the continuance order, the inmate it was continued because he was, in medical isolation. So if you could find out if he's still in medical isolation, otherwise he'll need to be presented for his first appearance today. Do you need me to spell the name again?
Yes, please.
Okay, first name, and I can give you the LE number too. The first name is NGOC. Middle name is VAN. And last name is spelled NGUYEN.
Number?
And then the LE number is 058. Look like it's 64. That looks like a 20. So 058 64. It could be a 00. It's either 6420 or 6400. Can't tell.
Okay.
So you can present him at the end. We'll I need to know his status.
Okay, I'll have to phone. You said he was in medical yesterday?
Yes.
All right, I'll try to locate him.
Thank you.
Do you want to continue on with the?
Yeah, Barker. Is Barker my first?
Barker. Yes, he is.
Okay, give me your full name, Mr. Barker.
Yes, Clayton Barker.
Okay. Is your middle name Spellman? Okay. So you've been charged with 4 offenses, specifically aggravated assault. The second charge is cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. The 3rd charge is public indecency. And then the 4th charge is a home invasion. Unfortunately, because of the home invasion charge, I'm not authorized to set bond for you today. Only a Superior Court judge can do that. So therefore, I'm denying you bond today and scheduling your preliminary hearing for September the 12th September the 12th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. And then your bond hearing will be September the 16th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Do you have any questions about the charge as well as the no bond?
I have a question, but I don't know if it'll be irrelevant to you.
You can ask your question. I can let you know that.
I could be home invasion. I didn't run in nobody's house.
Okay, well, according to the charge, would you like me to read the particulars of the warrant, sir?
Yes.
Okay, according to the officer that you did, it states that the offender did commit the charge of aggravated assault by pointing a black in color handgun Ed Antonio Dawson and his juvenile daughter on August 28, 2022, when he entered the victim's home naked, holding a gun. Mr. Baker stated people were after him and needed a pair of pants. Mr. Dawson then ran into the house and locked all the doors. Mr. Barker then broke into the house and pointed at the 6-year-old and Mr. Dawson. Mr. Dawson then gave him some pants and grabbed his daughter and left from the residence. So that's the particulars. So
Yes.
based on that, sir, there is a charge of home invasion. I'm not here to try your case today. I'm only here to inform you of the charges and advise you as to whether or not I can set bond, which I'm not authorized by law to set bond. Therefore, again, your preliminary hearing date is September the 12th, 2022, and then your bond hearing will be September 16th, 2022 via Zoom. Do you understand those two different hearing dates, sir?
Yes.
Also, it appears you said you have a job and you earn, you said $4,800 a month.
Yes.
Okay, so based on your responses that you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so therefore you'll have to hire your own attorney. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good job.
Mark Corday Burke.
You said Barker?
Burks.
Burks? Okay. I just did Barker, okay. Mr. Burks, you've been charged with 4 offenses to include improper lane change, distracted driving, violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, and use or possession of drug-related items. Your bond amount for the improper lane change, $500. Your bond amount for the distracted driving, $1,000. Your bond amount for violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, $5,000. Your bond amount for use or possession of drug-related items is $1,500. Therefore, your total bond amount is $7,500, $7,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount? Do you understand the charges, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for September the 12th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Thirdly, you did complete a request, your application for court-appointed counsel. Based on your response, it's unclear how much you earn a month. Is it $728 is what you put?
Like 700, 750.
Okay. So based on your response, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions, sir?
Yes, ma'am. What if I could post my bond today?
As soon as I get the paperwork over, if you can post bond, then yeah, you will be released once I send the paperwork over and you can post bond.
I got cards. I got my wallet in upstairs, and I got a card. I got my bank card and my credit card in my wallet.
Well, I'm not involved in the arrangements with respect to your bond. That's something you would have to speak to the sheriff's office about. My only job here is to inform you of the charges and set bond. So I have set bond, and then you will make arrangements as provided by law as to how you will be released, the payment that's accepted. That's something you're gonna have to speak to the sheriff's office about. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, state your full name for the record.
Alexander Bell Cherry.
Mr. Chair, you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is theft by receiving stolen property. And the second offense is a license which was not on you when you were stopped by the officers.
I do have a license.
Okay, but it says not on person, so that means it appears that you could not produce it when you were stopped by the officer.
Right.
Based on the fact that you are currently on probation.
Not on probation.
Let me finish, sir. Based on the fact that you're still on probation, I'm not authorized to set bond for you today. Therefore, your preliminary hearing will be scheduled for September the 12th. Pay attention, sir. Your preliminary hearing will be scheduled for September the 12th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom, and then your bond hearing is scheduled for September 16th, 2022. Do you understand the charge as well as the no bond?
I'm not on probation. My probation was canceled in May. I'm not on probation. My last court judge, I'm sorry. My last court judge gave me time served here and ended my probation. I'm not on probation anymore.
Okay, well, sir, according to the criminal records that I reviewed, you were sentenced, let me finish. You were sentenced to 5-year probation on September the 27th of 2017. So if you count let me finish. If you count 5 years out, that you're still within that time frame. So unfortunately, so again, if you want to request a reconsideration of that, you can do it through counsel. It looks like here you will qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will go ahead and appoint that, but I can only go off the criminal history that I've been provided.
So you're saying my court record, the court record that I had from my last court appearance is not valid? What you have? I'm not on probation.
Okay, well, sir, again, that's something you can discuss with your attorneys. You have a nice day. Thank you.
Oh my God, man. This ain't right, man. This is not right, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm not on probation, man. I'm not on probation, man. I'm not on probation. I'm not on probation, man. I'm not on probation, bro. I can't, man. I'm not on probation, man.
Your Honor, hold on 1 second for me.
I promise I'm not on probation.
Okay. That's your full name for the record for me, sir.
Mr.
Is it Cooper?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Cooper, you've been charged with one offense of theft by shoplifting. Your bond amount is $2,000. Do you understand the charge as well as the bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Not today. No.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for September the 13th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that to be your first hearing date, sir?
Yes.
Secondly, I've scheduled, you requested a court-appointed attorney, is that correct?
Yes.
Based on your response, you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So therefore, I will appoint one to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you. That's your full name for the record? Sir.
Dr. Javon Curtis.
Mr. Curtis, you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is red light violation. And then the second offense is driving on suspended or revoked license. Your bond amount for the Red light violation is $500 and your bond amount for the license violation is $1,500. Therefore, your total bond amount is $2,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you make bond?
I would ask, can I, like, am I eligible for a signature bond just because I work and my girl is pregnant, she not working, and it'll be a real hassle to try to get bond money, and then I gotta pay my rent, and then I would lose my job if I'm not out by tomorrow, which I go back to work. I'm off Sunday and Monday.
Sir, per the directive of the Chief Magistrate Court Judge, I'm not authorized to grant a signature release or OR bond for you. Therefore, your bond amount is $2,000. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for September the 13th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that to be your first hearing date, sir?
Yes.
You also completed a request for court appointed counsel, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Based on your response, you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, you will have to hire your own attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions? You have any questions, sir?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. State your full name for the record for me.
Ekpen Mandela Ndege.
Sir, you've been charged with one offense of theft by taking. Your total bond amount is $2,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am. If I'm able to make bond, would I be up today or would that be tomorrow? Because I do have to get back to work.
Well, I'm gonna send the order over today. I'm assuming you could have bonded out prior to your first appearance, but if you could make bond, the bond has already been set for $2,000. If you can't make, if you can't make bond, then you will be detained until your preliminary hearing, which is September the 13th of 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Okay, yes, ma'am. Is there some way for me to like make a phone call? I would have to call
That's jail.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry about that. You got money, make you.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
Yeah, so yeah, if you make arrangements with the jail. My only job is to set the bond, okay?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
and then you qualify for, let's see, did you request, you completed an application for court-appointed attorney. You indicated you have a job, but you didn't provide your monthly income. Can you give me an estimate of your monthly income?
Yes, ma'am. I do drive for Uber, so it's like I make like 300 a week or 300 or 400 a week. So
Okay.
like roughly like what is that like 16 like 1,600.
Okay. So based on your response, so you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will approve your application. Do you have any other questions?
And then, so just because one is appointed, if I were to get my own, could I still use my own, or
Of course, you can still use your own if you decide to do so.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, then, thank you.
That's your full name for me?
Sean Jones.
Mr. Jones, you've been charged with 5 offenses to include defective headlights, driving with no insurance, driving on a suspended or revoked license. The 4th charge is concealing the identity of a vehicle. And then you also altered the identification of it appears to be a handgun. So for the bond amount for each charge, the defective headlights is $500. The bond amount for the no insurance is $1,000. The bond amount for driving on a suspended or revoked license is $1,500. The bond amount for the altered ID criminal use is $5,000. I believe that's with respect to the handgun. And then the concealing the identity of a vehicle. Let's see, The charge of the suspended license is the $1,000. So therefore, your total bond amount appears to be $9,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
I don't understand one of the charges now.
Okay, which charge do you not understand?
The one about the firearm?
According to the officer, I can read what they included in the warrant. Would you like me to do that?
Can I say something to you real quick now?
But no, remember, we're not here to try your case today. I'm only here to inform you of the charges against you and said bond. That's my only purpose.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Also,
So would you still like me to read what the officer included in the warrant?
no, ma'am. I'll handle it in court.
Okay. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing date for September the 12th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that to be your first hearing date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then you also completed a request for court-appointed counsel. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
It's not fair, man. Somebody, you tell me to fight it.
So based on your responses on your court-appointed counsel form, you will qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, I will approve the application. Do you have any questions?
What did you say my bail amount was now?
So the total is $9,000.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
I'll be able to bond out today now?
Yeah, I'll send over the paperwork today, so it's depending on the sheriff's office, how soon they can process.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
any
ma'am.
other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. State your full name for me.
Alvarado Martinez.
Martinez. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Martinez, you've been charged with 3 charges to include violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, also no insurance, and then concealing the identity it appears to be of a tag. Your bond amount for the violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act is $5,000. Your bond amount for no insurance is the $1,500, and then your bond amount for concealing the identity of a tag is $750. Therefore, your total bond amount is $7,250. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount? Do you understand the charges, sir? I can't. Oh, I'm sorry.
He's on silent.
I know. Am I? Yeah, I see he's silent. I don't know if the deputies can hear me. Let's see. I don't think they realize that he's muted. Deputy, yes.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay.
Can you repeat the bond amount?
Yes. Bond amount for your violation, the violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act charge is $5,000. The bond amount for your no insurance is $1,500, and then the bond amount for concealing the identity of a tag is $750. Therefore, your total bond amount is $7,250.
Understand, ma'am.
Okay. Can you make bond?
Yes.
Okay, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for September the 12th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. That'll be your first hearing date. And then let's see, did you complete an application for court-appointed counsel?
What you gave me, right? Yes.
Okay, based on your responses here, you would qualify for court-appointed counsel, so I will go ahead and appoint an attorney to represent you, sir. Do you have any questions?
No, that's it, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sorry to interrupt. I was there too, just in case Mr. Martinez needed a interpreter.
Okay.
May I be
And
excused?
you're requesting to be released, I take it?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are welcome to be released. Have a good day.
Hey.
My name is Robert McDaniel.
Okay, Mr. Daniel, McDaniel, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. McDaniel, you've been charged with a charge of simple battery. The bond amount is $5,000. Do you understand the charge as well as the bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Say yes.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna get out on property bond though. And get my brother-in-law.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, your preliminary hearing is scheduled for September the 13th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Since you can make bond, would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
I'll waive it. And I have
Can
to
waive it?
another day.
Okay. So you'll need to get a waiver form from the deputies to sign for me to be able to waive it. You understand that?
Now, you would say what date you said it was?
September the 13th?
Yeah, I just come to it. I just come.
Oh, you want to keep it on the calendar? Okay. Also, you completed a request for court-appointed counsel, is that correct?
Yeah, I could afford it, but no, I can't afford it. I got.
You can't afford it. Do you need a court-appointed attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Based on your responses, you would qualify. Therefore, I will approve the request. Do you have any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. McDaniel.
Thank you.
Can you state your full name for me?
Andre Lamar Rhodes.
Mr. Rose, you've been charged with 5 offenses, specifically violation of a Georgia Controlled Substance Act. I have 2 counts and then 1 charge of distracted driving, 1 charge of use or possession of drug-related items, and then 1 charge of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. For the first offense of violation of Controlled Substance Act, it's $5,000. For the second charge, it's $5,000. For the distracted driving charge, is $1,000. For the use or possession of drug-related items, is $1,500. And then the last charge of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act is $5,000. Therefore, your total bond amount is $17,000. Do you understand the charge as well as the bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for September the 12th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that to be your first hearing date, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You also completed a request for court-appointed counsel, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, based on your responses, you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will approve that request. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, state your full name for the record for me.
Jeremy Sauter. Jeremy Sauter.
Okay, and that's SNIDER.
No, SOU.
No, Your Honor, Mr. Snyder is unavailable today. He was
Okay. Why is he unavailable?
he was pulled by 2 investigators and the captain this morning, so he was not available.
Are you guys prepared to present him tomorrow?
He should be. I would assume he has to be continued on, but he was, like I said, the captain pulled him earlier and he was unavailable today.
Okay. And that's Snyder, SNIDER, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So I do a continuance for Mr. Snyder. Okay, I'm sorry, sir. It's Jeremy and it's Sauter, SOUDER, correct?
Yes, SOUDER, yes. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you've been charged with 2 offenses, specifically disorderly conduct, and then the second charge is terroristic threats. The bond amount for the disorderly conduct is $1,500. Your bond amount for terroristic threats is $20,000. Do you understand the charge as well as the bond amount?
Yes.
Okay, can you make bond?
No.
If you can make bond, there will be special conditions concluded in your bond order, sir. The first is that you're to have no contact with two individuals by the name of Lauren White and Rashida White. Do you recognize those names?
Yeah, I recognize.
Okay, who are they?
Huh?
Who do you know them to be, sir?
Friends and family.
I didn't hear you.
Family members.
I still didn't hear you, sir.
Family members.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, if you make bond, while you're out on bond, you're to have no contact, which means you must stay away absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by telephone, or third person from the person's home, workplace, and immediate family members with respect to Lauren White and Rashina White. Also, you cannot violate any laws while out on bond. Do you understand the conditions of your bond if you're released, sir?
Yeah.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing date for September the 12th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. and that will be via Zoom. Do you understand that is your first, your next court appearance, sir?
Yes, September 12th.
Yes. Okay, and then you did complete an application for court-appointed counsel. Based on your responses, you indicated under oath that you do not have a job. Is that correct?
No. I know.
Okay, therefore, based on your response, you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, I will approve the application. Do you have any questions?
No. September 12th? All right, thank you.
September 12th. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Donna,
Yes,
the add-on that was continued from yesterday.
yeah,
He is still in medical isolation.
he still is.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Probably gonna be there for a while, so.
okay, so I have to do a continuance. Okay, thank you for the update.
State your name. State your name.
Brandon Vincent.
Mr. Vincent, you've been charged with 4 offenses, specifically 2 counts of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, 1 charge of possession of a firearm by a felon, and then 1 charge of possession of a firearm weapon during the commission of a crime. Yeah, based on the nature of your charges, in conjunction with the fact that you're still on a 2-year probation, I'm not authorized to set bond for you today. Therefore, your preliminary hearing will be scheduled for September the 12th, 2022, and then your bond hearing will be September 16th, 2022. Do you understand the charges as well as the no bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then you completed a request for court-appointed counsel. Is that correct? According to your form, sir, you're currently unemployed. Is that correct? Are you still unemployed? Okay, based on your response, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, I will appoint one. Do you have any questions? Thank you.
What's your name?
How you doing, Tremaine Williams?
Okay, Mr. Williams. You've been charged with 6 offenses. The first offense is battery, family violence. Second offense is theft by taking. And then you have 2 charges for violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. You have a 5th charge of possession of a firearm weapon during the commission of a crime. And then you have another count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. I'm going to read the bond amount for each charge. The bond amount for your battery charge is $5,000. The bond amount for the theft by taking is $2,000. The bond amount for violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act is $5,000 for each count for the first 2. And then you have a possession of a firearm and weapon, which is $10,000. And then the final charge of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act with intent to distribute is $7,500. So therefore, your total bond amount is $34,500. Do you understand the bond amount as well as the charges?
My first time being in something like this, so I really don't know.
Well, I just need to know if you understand what you've been charged with.
No, I don't know.
You don't. Which charge you don't understand? Which charge do you not understand?
The family stuff, the battery, I mean, all that stuff. Like,
Okay, with respect to the battery charge, it appears that, according to the warrant that I'm looking at, it appears that, the charge is based on the fact that, on or about the incident date is on or about April the 10th, 2022, Mr. Terrain Williams, did intentionally push and hit, Carmela Lee? Mr. Williams got into an altercation with Miss Lee in regards to her going out. During the altercation, Mr. Williams pushed Miss Lee into the closet and hit her. This caused Miss Lee to obtain a mark on her right finger, which drew blood, and right elbow, which caused her to have a red abrasion and peeled skin to the right elbow, causing bodily harm. Mr. Williams and Mr. Lee, a boyfriend and girlfriend, have a child together, and they reside at the same residence. This incident falls under family violence. Do you now understand the facts with respect to the family violence charge?
yes.
Okay, so can you make bond?
Yeah, I can.
If you can make bond, there will be a no contact with respect to the alleged victim on the which is Miss Lee. So you're to have no contact with her, stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by telephone, or a third person from the person home, workplace, and immediate family members, any witnesses with respect to Miss Lee. Do you understand that?
It's not a question though.
Okay, let me finish, sir. I'll allow you to ask questions when I finish. Secondly, you're not to return to the location that the incident occurred, which is 9130 Dorsey Road, Riverdale, Georgia. Is that your primary residence, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if that's your primary residence, you'll need to make arrangements to stay somewhere else. However, I will include a provision in the order that will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff's office so they can accompany you to retrieve any undisputed personal property within 10 days of your release. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then you also cannot violate any laws while out on bond. You understand that?
I need to say again.
You cannot violate any laws while out on bond. You understand? You can't violate any laws while you're out on bond.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what's your question?
By me still living there, I am the bread maker there, so I don't know like how was gonna be able to pay rent if I can't live there.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, because she's an alleged victim, you'll have to make arrangements to stay. Do you own or is it a rental?
Ma'am.
Do you own or is it a rental?
It's a rental.
Okay, well then, generally, if you produce your no contact, you should be allowed. Are you on the lease to the property? I mean, to the house?
I just leave.
Are you on the lease?
No.
Okay, well then it shouldn't be. Well, you'll need to make arrangements to stay elsewhere. If you were in a lease, then you could just produce this order, and they would likely release you since you're prohibited from staying there. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have scheduled your preliminary hearing for September the 12th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. And it appears you also completed an application with court-appointed counsel, correct? Sir? You recall completing a request?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Based upon your response, you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will approve your application. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Williams.
Have a good day.
Your Honor, that is everyone from the calendar today. Thank you for being patient with me.
Okay, thank you.
You have a great day.
You too.